Coming up on today's live show, we've got the second round World Cup final score. We'll also be looking at the quarter-final draw and the remaining third round matches. Also, we'll give you the venues, times and channels and dates to watch them. Also, my predictions on the last 16 matches that remain left to play. Also, we've got the contenders section and also a World Cup quiz. Also, we move over to Wimbledon 2026 for final score, both men's and women's third round matches, sorry. And also, we look at the last 16 in both the men's and women's, and also Monday's order of play, and finally the news and weather. Right, moving on to the first part, we look at today's final score, the second round World Cup of starting with Germany 1, Paraguay 1, and Paraguay win 4-2 on penalties. France 3, Sweden 0, South Africa 0, Canada 1, Holland 1, Morocco 1. Morocco win 3-2 on penalties. Portugal 2, Croatia 1, Spain 3, Austria 0. The United States 2, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0. Belgium 3, Senegal 2. Brazil 2, Japan 1. Ivory Coast 1, Norway 2. Mexico 2, Ecuador 0. England 2, DR Congo 1. Argentina 3, Cape Verde 2. Australia 1, Egypt 1, and Egypt win 4-2 on penalties. Switzerland 2, Algeria 0, and finally Colombia 1, Ghana 0. Right, moving on now to some of the third round matches that have already played. Canada 0, Morocco 3. France 1, Paraguay 0, and today's results just coming, Norway 2, Brazil 1. Right, moving on to today's third round matches, it's still to play. Looking at the third round matches, we're starting with Portugal and Spain. You can see that match at Dallas Stadium, 8 p.m. on BBC One later on today. Also playing on Monday, as you know, is England against Mexico. There has been a delay by an hour because of the bad weather conditions, so the match will kick off at 2 a.m. this morning. You can see that match on BBC One at 2 a.m. as I've just said. The match itself will be played on New Mexico City, and everyone knows about the match that England suffered at the hands of Argentina on that very ground. Yes, I'm talking about the hand of God moment where Maradona handballed the ball into the net. It's the same ground, by the way. So anyway, also to play, we've got on Tuesday, we have 3 games. We've got the Americans taking on Belgium at 1 a.m. in the morning on BBC One Live, and they're playing on Seattle Stadium. Also playing on that day, we've got Argentina Egypt. They're playing in the afternoon at 5 p.m. live on ITV1. And also the final game comes later on at 9 p.m. with Switzerland against Colombia at Vancouver Stadium in Canada. Right, moving on. We'll have a look at the quarter-final draw in a minute. Let me just have a quick look at what's to come. The in USA Foxborough Stadium at 9 p.m. on Thursday the 9th of July, France will take on Morocco. On Friday the 10th of July, playing at Los Angeles Stadium in America at 8 p.m, Portugal or Spain will take on the United States or Belgium. And then on Saturday the 11th of July at 10 p.m, playing at Miami Stadium, as I have just said, We all now know about the results of Brazil, and it's going to be Norway to play either Mexico or England. And finally, on Sunday, the 12th of July, playing at Kansas City Stadium at 2 a.m. in the morning, Argentina or Egypt will face Switzerland or Colombia. Right, moving on. My predictions for the last remaining matches of round 3. I predict Portugal will beat Spain. Yes, Portugal will beat Spain, and I fancy Ronaldo to be the key player here. They will beat them by 2-1. I've got some bad news for England fans. My prediction will be for Mexico, sadly, only because of the altitude, and Mexico has the ability to find the spaces. England will have to up their game considering what happened against DR Congo. Right, also I've got the Americans to beat Belgium 2-0, and Argentina will beat Egypt quite easily 3-0. And finally, my final game, my last prediction is Switzerland 0, Colombia 2. So you can hold me to that results. I can guarantee you will be. Right, moving on to the contenders section. We've got the top 6 quickest goals so far in the World Cup. And leading the way is still Mateus Galaza with 1 minute 4 seconds for Paraguay. Second is Ismail Sabari with 1 minute 10 seconds for Morocco. Third is Leroy, I'm trying to read that, Sawi, 2 minutes, Sané, S-A-N-E, so I do apologise. Leroy Sané, 2 minutes for Germany. Fourth place is Elise Skimmy, 3 minutes 30 seconds for Tunisia. Fifth, Austin Tracy for the Americans, 3 minutes 40 seconds. And finally, last of the 6 is Habib Diarra, 4 minutes 10 seconds for Senegal. Right, moving on. The other contenders for this, the top 6 teams who've scored the most goals are Morocco with 10 goals, but we got Germany and Holland on the 11, and Argentina also on the 11. Senegal are on 10, but the one way out in front with 14 goals is France. Right, now for the top 6 teams who have conceded the most. Leading the way, 2 teams leading the way actually. Tunisia and Iraq have conceded 12 goals. Uzbekistan has conceded 11 goals. Qatar 10 goals along with New Zealand and Haiti. Right, now for the Golden Boot Award. This is for the player that scores the most goals. And the top 6 so far is Lionel Messi with 7 goals for Argentina. Then comes Kylian Mbappe also on 7 goals. Also behind them is Erling Haaland of Norway with 5 goals. And then you have Harry Kane of England also with 5 goals. And then you've got Asmane Tabelli and Vinicius Jr. both on 4 goals. Right, moving on. It's time for World Cup quiz. So if you've got a pen and paper handy, this will be ideal for you. So I'll start off with the first question. True or false, in 1909 and 1911, a British representative of West Auckland Town won the first 2 World Cups. Is it true or is it false? Am I making it up? Right, question 2. Name me the 2 players who won the first World Cup for Argentina, also won an FA Cup winners' medal with a British team. Right, moving on to question 3. Which team in history of the World Cup scored 10 goals in one of the group games? I'll repeat that if you didn't quite understand that. Which team in history, in the history of the World Cup, scored 10 goals in one of the group games? Right, moving on to question 4. Which was the last British player to win the Golden Boot Award at the World Cup? Question 5. Which teams have scored the most goals in World Cup from 1930 to 2022? Question 6. In England's 1966 winning team, which player scored the most goals? And I'll give you a clue. Was it Geoff Hurst, Martin Peters, or Bobby Charlton? Right, moving on to question 7. I think I've got yes, question 7. Which England player scored by a volley past the Belgian goalkeeper with seconds to go in the 1990 last 16 knockout stage? Which England player scored by a volley past the Belgian goalkeeper with seconds to go in the 1990 last 16 knockout stage? Right, moving on to question 8. Which team from these 4 teams defeated the then host nation, Spain, in 1982, beating them 1-0? Was it England, was it Scotland, was it Wales, or was it Northern Ireland? Right, question 9. When was the last time host nation Mexico staged the World Cup? Right, we're coming to the final question now. Question 10. Here we go. Right. When was the last time a penalty shootout decided the World Cup final? When was the last time a penalty shootout decided the World Cup final? Right, so I'll give you a few seconds to get your thoughts together, even if you don't need a pen and pencil, it's all up there in the head. I'll just give you a few seconds. I'll just take a little breather for a few minutes because I've got a long way to go yet. I've still got the Wimbledon 2026 to cover. I know this is a crazy time to do it because everyone will be keyed up in the pub watching England. I understand that. So if nobody's watching me, it's not my fault. Well, it is my fault. I picked the wrong time to do it. I should have done it in the afternoon, but nevertheless, I've done it now because I've been busy with my post board on the community YouTube. So it's all on there. Also, as I'll take time to tell you, I've done my Lee's Hobby Corner. I do this every Sunday. I've got a collection or I show you something, whether it's boxing moves or self-defense or anything basically, but I always put it on there, so have a look. I've got the Doctor Who, dinosaur and superhero collection to show you on there, so go to my channel and have a look at it. You'll see a lot of them. Right, okay, right, so have you got your pen and paper handy? We're back. Right, remember the question 1, true or false? 1 second, let me just get my lighter. No, forget it. Oh, there it is. I found it. Right. Sorry about this. I was just looking for my lighter. I just wanted a quick drag while I was waiting. Right, here we go. Question 1. True or false? In 1909 and 1911, a British representative called West Auckland Town won the first 2 World Cups. True or false? Amazingly, the answer is true. West Auckland Town from the Northern League at that time won it twice. They beat Stuttgart, who represented Germany in the semi-finals, and they eventually beat FC Winterthur of Switzerland in the final. And it was staged at Turin in Italy. And 2 years later, they defended the trophy by sensationally beating the Italian giants Juventus 6-1. The trophy was called the Thomas Lipton Trophy. That's true. It is true. It happened. It happened back in those periods I have just mentioned. I could not believe it myself. I had to do some research, but it's true. So anyway, moving on to question 2. Name me the 2 players who won the World Cup for Argentina and also won an FA Cup winners' medal with a British team. The answer was Osvaldo Ardiles and Ricardo Villa for Argentina in 1978, and then they both played for Tottenham Hotspur in 1981, where they beat Man City in the FA Cup final of that year. And it was that famous goal, the third goal, the final goal by Ricardo Villiers, who dribbled past the whole of the Man City defence to score one of the most fantastic goals ever seen. So that is what Tottenham got, 2 Argentinian brilliants, and they went on to win the FA Cup the year later as well. Right, moving on to question 3. Which team in the history of the World Cup scored 10 goals in one of the group games? It happened in 1982. Hungary was in Group C and they beat El Salvador 10 goals to 1. That is true. Check it up. Right, question 4. Which was the last British player to win the Golden Boot Award at the World Cup? Now, this is an easy one because it's recently. It was in 2018 and it was Harry Kane of England. He scored 6 goals. Right, question 5. Which team have scored the most goals in the World Cup from 1930 to 2022? The answer is Brazil with 237 goals, with Germany not far behind them with 232. Right, question 6. In England's 1966 winning team, which player scored the most goals? I gave you a few choices. One, was it Geoff Hurst? Was it Martin Peters, the second choice? Or was it Bobby Charlton, the third choice? The answer was Geoff Hurst. He scored 4 goals, 1 in the quarter-final and 3 in the final. Right, moving on to question 7. Which England player scored by a volley past the Belgian goalkeeper with seconds to go in the 1990 World Cup last 16 knockout stage? The answer is David Platt of Aston Villa, and was transferred to Italy, Bari, and Juventus, Sampdoria, and he returned to England to play for Arsenal. Remember that? That magic goal in the last seconds. Bobby Robson was the manager. We looked like we're going into extra time with Belgium, and then suddenly David Platt gets on the end of a volley and scores with seconds to go. An amazing match it was. Right, question 8. Which team from these 4 teams defeated the then host nation Spain in 1982? They beat them 1-0. I'll give you a clue. It was Jerry Armstrong who scored the goal. So obviously these other 3 teams won't count, will they? England, Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland? The answer is obviously Northern Ireland. Right, okay then. So let's move on to question 9. We're coming to the end of this quiz. When was the last time host nation Mexico staged the World Cup? When was the last time host nation Mexico staged the World Cup? The answer was in 1986. Right, now to my final question. I hope you've enjoyed this. Question 10. When was the last time a penalty shootout was decided in the World Cup final? I'll repeat that again. When was the last time a penalty shootout was decided in a World Cup final? The answer was 1994. Brazil beat Italy on a penalty shootout. You remember that? Romario, Brazil, fantastic team they had then. And it went to penalties, and guess who missed it? Diego Baggio missed. The man that they said should have won the World Cup, but he didn't, did he? He missed also a penalty in 1990 as well, which was disaster for Italy as they were hosting it. But anyway, never mind. So I hope you enjoyed that quiz. It's not a brilliant quiz, I must admit. This time of the morning I'm not at my best. But I'd like to thank some of the people that have tuned in, just to have a look to see what it's all about. Thank you very much. Right, now we're moving on to tennis. Right, I better power my phone up before it goes out, so I will take that off there. I've just had a warning that the power is going on my phone. This is ridiculous, isn't it? But nevertheless, I will do it this way. So it won't go out now. Right, I'm going to start you with the women's third round matches at Wimbledon. We'll start with A. Sabalenka, the number 1 seed. She beat Jay Ostapenko by 6-4, 6-4. Number 14 seed, Naomi Osaka beat Di Castakina 6-1, 6-3. The number 10 seed, Muchikova, beat the non-seeded player, Sorin Kwan, 6-2, 7-6. Barbara Krejcikova beat M. Bartonokova, 6-3, 7-5. The number 4 seed, Jay Pagula, beat Jay Buzas Manero by 6-1, 6-3. The number 16 seed, I. Jovic, beat E. Alexandrodova, the number 18 seed, 6-3, 3-6, 6-4. Right, moving on. Number 11 seed, B. Benic, beat A. Kalinskaya, the number 19 seed, 6-4, 4-6, 7-6. Number 7 seed, and the American Coco Gauff beat C. Lu 6-3, 6-7, 6-2. A. Kruger beat D. Snigor 6-3, 6-2. Then the number 12 seed, M. Kostiak, beat E. Navarro, the number 23 seed, 6-2, 4-6, 6-1. The number 13 seed, J. Parloni, beat M. Sakari, 6-1, 6-2. The number 29 seed, A. Aila, beat I. Swiatek, the number 3 seed, one of the biggest shocks, 7-6, 6-2. The number 26 seed, Madison Keys, beat the number 6 seed, Anna Anisimova, 3-6, 6-2, 6-3. The number 9 seed, Noskova, beat the number 17 seed, Serstia, 2-6, 6-3, 7-6. The number 21 seed, N. Buskova, beat the non-seeded player, L. Samsonova, 4-6, 7-6, 6-4. The number 25 seed, Alicia Mertens, beat the number 2 seed, one of the biggest shocks in the tournament, Alikana Rybakina, 7-6, 6-1. Right. Now we move on to the men's third round results. Defending champion and world's number 1, Yannick Sinner, beat Jay Brooksby 6-4, 6-3, 6-4. S. Mochizuki beat the number 23 seed, R. Joda 1-6, 7-6, 6-4, 6-4. Hey Herkachitz beat the number 21 seed, Tommy Paul 4-6, 7-6, 7-5, 6-2. Johann Struff beat the number 8 seed, Daniel Medvedev, 7-6, 7-6, 7-5. The number 3 seed, Felix Olga Aselian, beat Min Xing, 7-6, 6-2, 6-1. Please forgive my pronunciation of some of these foreign players that I cannot pronounce. I'll do my best. The number 22 seed, Davidic Fokina, beat M. Fuxovic 7-6, 6-2, 6-3. R. Saluthin beat the number 24 seed, John Fonseca 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. Former champion and number 7 seed, Novak Djokovic, he beat the number 25 seed, A. Rinderknecht 7-5, 6-4, 1-6, 7-6. And then the number 5 seed, Alex Dimona, beat the non-seeded player, as I said that, hard to pronounce, Svajda, I think that's how you pronounce it, Svajda, 6-2, 5-7, 6-2, 6-4. The number 9 seed from Italy, F. Caboli, beat the Ukrainian player K. Chanonov, the number 19 seed, Love 6, 7-6, 6-7, 6-2, 6-2. Grigor Dimitrov beat the unseeded and former runner-up at Wimbledon, Mario Berrettini, 6-3, 6-4, 3-6, 5-7, 6-3. Right, British interests, if you want to know. Arthur Ferry of England has beaten Zed Bergs 2-6, 7-5, 2-6, 7-6, 7-6. Taylor Fritz of the United States, number 6 seed, beat El Sonigo 4-6, 6-3, 6-4, 7-6. Number 10 seed, A. Rublik, beat Francis Tiafoe, the number 17 seed, 4-6, 7-6, 7-6, 3-6, 6-3. The number 13 seed, J. Hilek, beat the non-seeded player, Jay Munar, 6-4, 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. And finally, the number 2 seed, Alexander Zverev, has beaten M. Giron 6-2, 7-6, 6-4. Thank God I got through that lot. So we now move on to what we consider the last 16. I'll run through it through you so you know who is playing who. Right, starting with the number 1 seed, Arina Sabalenka, the defending champion from Belarus. She'll be playing Naomi Osaka, the number 14 seed from Japan. The number 10 seed, Karolina Muchova from Czechoslovakia, or Czech Republic as it's known now, to play Barbara Krejcikova of the Czech Republic, fellow Czech. The number 4 seed, Jessica Peluga of the United States, will face Eva Jovic, the number 16 seed, also from the United States. And the number 11 seed, Belinda Bencic of Switzerland, will face the America's new answer to Serena Williams, Coco Gauff, the number 7 seed, also from America. Then we've got Marta Kostuk, who is from Ukraine, the number 12 seed. She'll play Ashlyn Kruger, the non-seeded player from America. Then we've got Jasmine Pralini from Italy, the number 13 seed. She will face Alexandra Alea, the number 29 seed from the Philippines. And then the number 9 seed, Linda Noskova from Czech Republic, will face America's Madison Keys, the number 26 seed. And then finally, in the women's draw, we've got the number 21 seed, Maria Buzkova from the Czech Republic, facing Elise Mertens, the number 25 seed from Belgium. Right, now moving on to the men's seedings, the men's last 16, starting with defending champion Yannick Sinner, the world's number 1 as well, from Italy. He'll be facing Shinichiro Mochizuki of Japan. The Polish player Hubert Hurkacz will play Jan-Leonard Struff of Germany. Right, next up, the number 3 seed, Felix Auger Aselian of Switzerland, will face Alexandro Davidac Forquina of Spain. The number 7 seed and former world champion and Serbian Novak Djokovic will face Roman Safin of Russia. The number 5 seed, Alex de Morna of Australia, will face Flavio Caboli of Italy, the number 9 seed. Grigor Dimitrov will face Arthur Ferry of England in the last 16. And then we've got the USA's Taylor Fritz, the number 6 seed, will be facing Alexander Bublik from Kazakhstan, the number 10 seed. And finally, from the Czech Republic, the number 13 seed, Yuri Lehecka, will face Alexander Zverev, the number 2 seed from Germany. Right, let's have some results from the 4th round of the ladies today. The number 14 seed caused one of the biggest upsets in the singles championship this year. She knocked out the number 1 and defending champion Anna Sablenka, the number 1 seed, 2 sets to love. The number 7 seed Coco Gauff beat Belinda Bencic, the number 11 seed, 2-1. And Jessica Peluga, the number 4 seed, has beaten Iva Jovic, the number 16 seed, Eva Jovic, the number 16 seed, by 2-1. And finally, in the last of the women's matches of today, in the last 16, the number 10 seed, Karolina Machova, has beaten Barbara Krejcikova, the non-seeded player, by 2-1. Right, now looking at the men's half, and we're going to the fourth round results there straight away. The defending champion and world's number 1, and from Italy, Yannick Sinner, has beaten Shinichiro Munazuki by 3-0. Right, the next match is Felix Ugo Alisami of Spain, the number 3 seed, has beaten Alexandro Davidovich, Fokina, a long name of course, by 3-2. And finally, well, no, not finally, we got Jan Leonard Struff from Germany. He's beaten